Attention Guffers, the boys, I mean men, at Guff would like to invite you to hashtag prop up this season on Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app for player props. They've eliminated the need to do countless hours of research because they only ask you about the top tier athletes in a respective sport. For NFL, simply choose 10 out of the 20 player prop options to build your lineup. Each prop has a fantasy point total associated with the over or under based on its likelihood to occur. The more points a selection is worth, the riskier it is. Rack up the most points to win a share of the prize pool. Thrive has awarded over $1.5 million in prizes since launching in 2018. Use promo code GUFF when you sign up today and you will receive an instant $20 bonus on your first deposit of $20 or more. That's GUFF, GUFF. Download the Thrive Fantasy on the App Store or Play Store or by visiting their website, www.thrivefantasy.com. Sign up, prop up, and get guffed.
What's up, Guff? The boys are back again. We haven't left yet, and we are here to give you some fantasy football knowledge.
Oh, yes. The men are back, Joey.
That's right.
The grown-ups.
Does that mean James is not a man? Because he is still not back yet.
Yeah, still not back. We're just living a shell of a lie without him.
We cannot confirm whether James is in fact a man or not, but we can confirm there are some pretty juicy matchups in Week 5.
Yes.
We are giving you the game-by-game analysis, a little bit of Would You Rather Start, and then our Tricks of the Trade, where we analyze some trades.
Analysis
everywhere. So what do you say? Get into some news. All right, so first item of news. Let's cover a few injuries. So we saw Austin Eckler come out of the game last Sunday. He's dealing with a hamstring injury and a hyperextended knee. So looks like he's going to be out from 4 to 6 weeks. I think they're putting him on the IR.
Mm-hmm.
So fire up your Josh Kelly, Justin Jackson maybe. But yeah, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, so hate to see that.
Yep.
Nick Chubb has been revealed that he has torn his MCL or sprained his MCL. I don't think you can tear that. I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me. He has been placed on IR and is expected to miss about 6 weeks as well. So that Kareem Hunt stock just went way high.
And fire up your Ernest Johnson that we all knew who he was before this.
That's right. As well, Josh Allen had a little bit of a shoulder injury. Looks like he was practicing on Wednesday and is probably going to be playing, so no need to worry there. Another quarterback who's been injured that I don't think anyone is necessarily starting him, but we thought we'd do him a solid and mention him here. Sam Darnold is going to be out with a shoulder injury. So Joe Flacco, the old elite quarterback, is...
Man.
What a play.
Good old Joe. Wow, what a play.
But that's going to do it for most of the injuries. But we have some more coronavirus news. Stephon Gilmore has tested positive for the Rona, which is going to put the Broncos-Pats game in jeopardy. Additionally, a couple of Tennessee Titans, who knew, tested positive yet again, putting the Bills-Titans game in jeopardy.
So, two things I want to say with this. Stephon Gilmore, there was a picture that came out with him basically like hugging Patrick Mahomes like right after the game on Monday. So that's concerning to see. Just, I don't know. I mean, him playing in the game and testing positive is concerning, but I don't know. Just seeing him so close up to other stars, it's definitely worth monitoring. And with the Titans, actually, a picture surfaced. I don't know what the credibility is behind it and stuff, but a picture surfaced of while they were supposed to be kind of following the protocols last week of not having any practices, everything kind of being shut down. There was a picture of several players actually having like a workout together still, and I think Ryan Tannehill was one of those players. So interesting stuff to see, especially when we're seeing some teams maybe breaking protocol a little bit, to see how the NFL handles it, on top of already having to monitor these games to see if they happen or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I saw the article you're talking about the Titans practice. I'm not sure if anything is confirmed yet, if that was the Titans or anything, but not good optics at all. So if that's to be true, then we're probably expecting some heavier fines on the Titans. But moving on from that depressing news to more depressing news, Dwayne Haskins has unfortunately been demoted to third string on the Washington football team. So Kyle Allen is getting the start with Alex Smith to back him up, coming back from injury.
This is one of those things that they say bad things happen in threes, which this is kind of, I feel like the things that are supposed to happen long ago happen in threes also. So Bill O'Brien got fired. Dwayne Haskins demoted to third string. So now I'm thinking that Adam Gase gets fired maybe. So who knows? Maybe.
A man can only hope.
Oh.
And yeah, Joe Flacco is going to start against the Cardinals. So that's going to be most of our major news right there. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at GrownUpFF to stay in the know. But Zach, why don't you take us game by game?
With pleasure, Joey. Let's go game by a game. So Thursday night's game, we have the Bucks at the Bears. Bucks are pretty beat up offensively. I think there's a lot of receivers on their team not practicing right now. We had O.J. Howard out for the season. Mike Evans kind of banged up. Chris Godwin's already going to be out. Scotty Miller banged up. So what do we think is going to happen here, Joey, on the Bucks side of the ball, and then likewise on the Bears side?
Yeah, I think you also have. Did you mention Fournette?
Oh, no, I did not. Yeah, Fournette's also doubtful.
Fournette's questionable. Is he doubtful or questionable?
I think he said doubtful.
Yeesh.
I know he is questionable, but they said it's doubtful that he plays. So,
yeah, with a banged up offense and against the Bears, it's a tall task for the Bucks. But I think if anybody's going to do it, it's Tom Brady who can do it. Though I am kind of fading him this week, minus Chris Godwin, minus Mike Evans, and possibly Scotty. If Scotty plays, then he's an interesting play because of the injuries. I don't know about Rojo, though.
Yeah. One thing, actually, I wanted to say about this game, one of the more interesting things is with it being a Thursday night game, if you have one of the running backs for the Titans-Bills game, but then you also have like Rojo. So actually, I'm going up against somebody who has Derrick Henry, and his really only other serviceable running back is Rojo. So it's either play Rojo in place of Derrick Henry this Thursday, thinking that the game's going to get canceled on Sunday for the Titans, or roll the dice, and if Derrick Henry doesn't play, his only other good RB has already played, so he'd have to pick someone not that reliable up off waivers. So this is definitely, I'm glad I'm not having to make that decision because I don't want to, so be on the lookout for that, especially with Thursday night matchups like this. All right, awesome. Well, moving on to the Sunday games, we have Panthers at the Falcons. We're seeing this a lot everywhere, Joey, and you kind of mentioned this on our last episode. Teddy Bridgewater, good streaming option now possibly, and I'm thinking against the Falcons, you can start most everyone on the team, but especially Teddy Bridgewater. I think we'll have a big day. What do you think?
Yeah, I know I mentioned it last week, and I'm an Aaron Rodgers owner, so I'm looking for a streamer to pick up. I did not pick up Teddy Bridgewater, though. So we'll get to who I picked up later, but I think Teddy is going to have a good day. I think Todd Gurley has a great matchup this week, and I still think the Falcons' offense will still produce. I think Julio's probably going to be out, unfortunately, but if Ridley plays, I think it's a decent game from him. as well. I mean, you like you said, you can start all your Panthers, including Mike Davis. He should probably have a really good game too.
Yeah, and we actually mentioned it on the last episode too. We'll chalk it up as a blooper, actually. Reggie Bonifon, one of the pickups. We recorded the episode on Monday, I think, and come out on Tuesday saying that Reggie Bonifon, or maybe even later that Monday after we recorded, saying that he was demoted back down to the practice squad. So definitely not a waiver pickup.
We hope you guys didn't pick him up.
Don't play him this game. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Todd Gurley could have a big day. I think all your Panthers you can start. Julio's probably going to be out with that nagging hamstring injury, so this could be a get-right game, even though the Panthers are a little bit harder on the wide receivers for Ridley, after giving us that goose egg. So excited to see what happens there. All right, Bills and Titans, this is the one we're talking about possibly not happening. I actually put here, Joey, I think the Titans forfeit.
I really hope
mandatory forfeit.
Oh man, I've seen things that people saying the Titans should forfeit.
I've seen things the Titans have never seen.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's say they do play though. Mm-hmm. If they play, Derrick Henry has a tough matchup against a stout Bills run defense. However, the tight end is kind of a weak spot, and the passing defense, which is strangely. Has been giving up some points to tight ends and I think wide receivers as well. So I think if you have Henry and the game plays, then you got to start him like me. I think Jonnu could have a big day. And for the Bills, I think these teams are sort of evenly matched. They're both really good teams. I think the Bills' defense is a little bit better than the Titans. And yeah, you're still playing Diggs, you're still playing Allen. You could maybe take a shot really with like Cole Beasley or John Brown too. I think. I
think John Brown has a calf issue still, and he was limited in practice. But if he's healthy, you could probably take a shot with him. Like you could definitely do worse than a haggled John Brown. But yeah, both of these teams do kind of look similar on paper for sure. Leaning more towards the Bill side, though. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they still have this game, but I don't know. With 2 positive test cases, recording this on Wednesday, we'll see what happens the rest of the week because they're not opening their facilities still. So kind of hard.
Yeah. We'll see.
And so we will see. So that's like an asterisk game. Stop, Joey. Messing around in the show, Doc.
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, jeez.
Jonnu Rockets.
Jonnu Rockets. There we go.
Jonnu Rockets.
All right, let's go on. Raiders at Chiefs. Raiders, I think actually they're getting Henry Ruggs back, so that's good. But the Chiefs are pretty good against the receivers. So unless your name is Josh Jacobs or Darren Waller, I am not trusting you on the Raiders side of the ball. On the Chiefs side of the ball, yeah, you could go all Chiefs. If you had to go flyer, like one of the Chiefs receivers not named Kelsey or Hill, I would say probably Mecole Hardman over Sammy Watkins just because he's got that big play upside. And he's actually had in half PPR leagues and formats, he had 16 points 2 weeks ago, and then last week he had 10 points. So he's getting some of that production, getting those targets, and like I said, that big playability. So that's really all I see here. But of course, definitely going to look more like a Chiefs game. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you all there. I think it's between Mecole or, what's the guy's name? Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
I don't think
he
really
had a goose egg.
He did. I think Mecole is starting to take over that. I guess wide receiver 2, or unless you want to say wide receiver 3, if you can't really Kelsey as a wide receiver. I'm not playing any Raiders really, except Jacobs and Waller. I know I mentioned last episode Derek Carr could be interesting to pick up as a stream now the buys are starting. I don't think I want him this week, but possibly down the road.
Yeah,
this is just a good Chiefs defense.
Definitely. I feel like goose egg is like a general term for getting 0 points. I feel like Demarcus Robinson got us a goose egg, but maybe Calvin Ridley last week got us like a a lizard egg or something. Do they lay eggs?
Ask Sammy Watkins.
It's like a small egg. Oh, there you go. It's a very small egg. It's different because Calvin Ridley got the targets. He just was shut down and got the 0 points. Someone like Demarcus Robinson or Brandon Cooks giving you 0 points. That's more of a goose egg because it's a big old egg. That's like a dinosaur egg. All right, moving on. We got Cardinals at Jets. I'm afraid to say it.
It's a quail egg.
It's a quail egg.
Those are the small ones, yeah.
All right. I'm afraid to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think I'm going to shoot my shot here, Joey. I feel like I've shot a lot of shots. I feel like Kenyon Drake and Le'Veon Bell will both score over 10 points this week.
It's definitely possible for both players. I think more so Kenyon Drake than Le'Veon Bell.
Are we sure of that at this point in time? At least Le'Veon Bell gets the passing down work and Flacco's starting, so he'll dump it off. But Drake has not been in on the receiving game. He's banking on getting a touchdown.
I mean, Kenyon Drake is super talented, though. He should be able to get you these points. And this is something we've seen all season is he's incredibly talented. We know how talented he is. And the opportunity is there in the run game. He had 13 carries last week. I think he's been averaging over 10 carries a game.
Yeah.
It's the Jets. He should dominate. But, we'll see.
We said the same thing, though. The Jets, I think they rank, I can't remember what they rank against the RB. It might be like 27 or something like that. But, last week against the Panthers, who are second to last against running back, they made him look like he was a third string running back. So, which, a lot of that too was the Cardinals line. He was getting hit behind the line a lot, but yeah, they actually made the Panthers D look like a great run D. So who knows what's going to happen with this Jets D? It is the Jets D. I don't see them falling behind in this game, but who knows with Flacco starting, maybe we see some resurgence or so. I don't know. But other than that, I feel like everyone on the Cardinal side of the ball, you have Kyler Murray. Think a bounce back game for him. He still had a good game last week, but I think he's got a big game in him. D-Hop, he'll come back. Really, that's the only receivers I'm after, and then Kenyon Drake. But this is my last week, I think, to be in on him, and then after this, it is probably riding the bench, maybe trying to trade him for whatever you can get. But yeah, and then on the Jets side of the ball, Crowder. And I think Lev Bell would be a good flex for this game, but yeah, that's about it.
I'm a little worried with Bell just coming back after that injury. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you've got him, hopefully you've made some moves to bolster your running back roster. But if you don't have much else, if you're a Derrick Henry owner, or if you're a Sony Michel maybe owner, maybe Melvin Gordon, maybe you also have Le'Veon Bell.
Who is starting Sony Michel? If you were starting Sony Michel, or that you were
deeper
depleted
leagues,
that much,
deeper leagues.
Honestly, no. Even with this season, some people might have to start Sony Michel with all the injuries. Like, there's probably people who had Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, and I don't know, some other RB
maybe
to where
Mostert.
now they're maybe Mostert, to where, and who knows, maybe they didn't get their backups or anything like that, to where now they are relying on a Sony, or we're relying on a Sony Michel. So we'll see. Poor guys.
Do you think Andy Isabella is a pretty good stream this week?
No, don't bring that up. No.
He's a fast guy.
No, I don't trust him.
All right. Maybe.
I honestly, no. I feel like between him, Kirk, and Larry Fitzgerald, it's just a toss-up. And even then, it's not going to be a whole lot of production there. It's going to all go to D-Hop. And then Kyler with his legs. And then whatever else, hopefully, will go to Kenyon Drake. So
hopefully.
Or more reasonably, Chase Edmonds, probably. All right, Eagles at Steelers. Looking like there's a chance we have J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Or Arthega. Whiteside back in this week. Same with Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson possibly. So I saying all those names makes me barf a little bit. I don't think this does anything different.
Do you want to play any of them? The only Eagle, there's maybe two. I think Ertz has a decent game. I think the Steelers are kind of weak against tight ends, and Miles Sanders. Those are like the only two. But I'm not even really bullish on Sanders this week, just because it's the Steelers.
Yeah, I am a little bit more concerned about Sanders. The only thing I will say about all those receivers coming back, and like you're saying, it could be more so for Zach Ertz than it is for some of these receivers, but the Steelers have been beatable in the air. They're ranked number 27th right now through the air, so Alshon or Djax could be like a flyer maybe. But we've seen Djax kind of earlier this season. You know, he had, I think, 2 games, didn't really do much. So, I'm not really seeing it with them. Steelers side of the ball, though, I'm excited for the Steelers. I think. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for them to get a W.
It's after a bye, too, an unexpected bye. So maybe Deontay Johnson has healed up some. You play all your Steelers probably here.
Yeah, I think so, too. All right, Rams at the football team. Joey, you said this. What's his face? Dwayne Haskins. He is benched.
He's
And
gone.
so now we are going to see Kyle Allen. So I actually think with this news that this could be very good for Antonio Gibson. We saw last year Kyle Allen looked like the check down king with Ron Rivera being with CMC. So I could see Gibson actually getting a good bit of turn up, I guess. I don't know. Turn up for Gibson.
Turn up, yeah.
We'll turn up for Gibson.
Turn up for Gibson.
But I could see that with Kyle Allen being in there. On the Rams side of the ball, and Scary Terry, we have to monitor because he was held out of practice, so or at least had a very limited practice, so we'll monitor there, but looking like he'll probably still play. But yeah, what do you think, Joey?
I think you're right. I think the targets when Kyle Allen comes in, I think it's kind of a downgrade for Scary Terry. We saw him build rapport with Haskins, and yeah, Kyle Allen is one of the check down kings. So Gibson could see some looks. Logan Thomas could see some more looks. And this is a good Rams defense, so they're going to be all over Kyle Allen. He's probably going to be checking down a lot. On the Rams side of the ball, Washington is surprisingly like top 5 against wide receivers. I think they're number 2 in fantasy. So do we think about sitting Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Robert Woods owner. I'm a Robert Woods stan, like I've said before. I'm probably still playing
Your name
him.
is still Joey.
But my name is still Joey, correct. The only Ram I'm a little... there's more. Darrell Henderson, Washington's actually pretty good against the run, too. So I'm a little concerned there, especially with Malcolm Brown coming back.
Darrell Henderson coming back, too.
Is he? Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
Sean
So they're
McVay
getting
said
back.
he'll be playing this week. That's a hot hand approach. We saw it last week. Malcolm Brown actually got, I think, one more touch than Darrell Henderson and then had some more yards. So it's just going to be a hot hand where you have no idea which running back to own. Hopefully you can pick the right one in your lineup on any given week, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also kind of fading Tyler Higbee. We talked about him last show.
Yeah, I could see him having a good game. But yeah, it's just one of those things where he doesn't get enough targets. You know, he had a 25-point game and half PPR week 2, I think, but that came on the back of 3 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
any week he could do that. But yeah, I'm not looking for him for consistency and reliability. So, all right. So next we have Bengals at the Ravens. We haven't seen a lot from Hollywood Brown, that is Marquise Brown, on the Baltimore Ravens this year, but I'm thinking this could be a good bounce back game from him. What do you think, Joey?
I agree. I think that, Zach Taylor finds a way to get the Bengals close in this game at the beginning, but I think the Ravens' defense is too much, and then I think that Hollywood hits you for a big touchdown later in this game.
You know how Zach Taylor finds a way to get them close? Is by drawing away the coverage using A.J. Green as a decoy.
Correct.
Freeing up Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. I think they're going to do well, and A.J. Green is going to continue his decoy role. He's like a mannequin for them.
He's not Anakin. He's the mannequin.
The mannequin.
Yes.
The
I also
mannequin,
think
the myth, the legend, A.J. Green.
It's A.J. Green. I think that Joe Burrow may do better than we expect of him, but I'm not in any rush to start him. It is the Ravens. They are one of the best defenses in the league, so nah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next we have Jaguars at the Texans. So this is pretty basic analysis right here, Joey. I put in a show doc. Deshaun to be good. Minshew to be good.
It's very caveman-like.
Good.
Deshaun good. Minshew, good.
Good.
I think another. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think with Bill O'Brien being gone, there is a tale of two cities that we could see in Texas. Texas, yeah, Houston, and it could either be the Texans kind of stay that same level of play because there's no way you could get worse,
Right.
or they get an increase. And who knows? Maybe that increase could actually be a crazy increase. Maybe it could be a crazy increase, not necessarily for them on the winning side of the ball, but maybe it could be a crazy increase, kind of like we're seeing with the Cowboys, where they are just passing 50 plus times a game. Dak is having insane numbers. They are spreading the ball around. There is that slight chance that we could see that, right? Or no?
There is. I think you're onto something. I think if we see that increase, the question is who does it go to?
Right.
And I think it's been coming. I think it's Will Fuller.
Yeah.
I was kind of holding out hope for Brandon Cooks, but after the Goose and after this transition to possibly a new offensive system, maybe a new look, I think Will Fuller is the one to benefit.
I agree. This was one of those things. I guess it's looking more like the chemistry is just there because Will Fuller's been with Deshaun. I know we had talked about Brandon Cooks can be droppable. If you have an extra roster spot or you have someone who's on IR maybe that you can remove to injured reserve on your squad, just in case, I would hold on to Brandon Cooks because Will Fuller is insanely injury prone. So we don't know what we're about to see from the Texans. Probably more of the same that we've been seeing, but on the slight chance there is a little bit of an increase in that offensive production, and on the not so slight chance that Will Fuller gets injured, Brandon Cooks would then move into that number one role. So not bad at all to have him on your team, especially if that happens, if you're just keeping him on the bench until that happens. So if someone did drop him, and you do have that spot, not saying you got to drop someone important for him, but if you have that open spot, then definitely try and get him.
Yeah. I also think on the Jags side, James Robinson is a smash play this week, as well as DJ Chark, and you could get something with Laviska Shenault this week. They use him pretty creatively, so he could see some rushes, some targets. But Chark and Robinson and Gardner.
Agree. Yep, I agree with you there. All right, moving on from our noon games to our afternoon games. We have Dolphins at the 49ers. We're not sure if Mostert's going to be back for this game. I think he got a limited practice in today. If he is not back, I think McKinnon's going to have a great day. The Dolphins are number 26 against the run. And you saw last week he had almost 20 points in half PPR. He is doing good. He is a great fill-in right now for Mostert. They are loving what they're seeing from him, so I'm excited about him. Same with Brandon Ayuk. I think he still is very viable in this offense, especially with Deebo Samuel easing his way back in. The only other person I'd really want to bring up in this game, 49ers, pretty good defense. But I think Preston Williams might actually be a sneaky play here, or at least just a waiver ad to hold on to him because the offensive coordinator came out this week and said they really need to try and get him more involved. Like talent-wise, he is there, and they really need to involve him a lot more and try and get the ball his way more. So Devontae Parker, we've seen him do great things, but at the same time, he seems like he is kind of constantly battling injury and playing through injury. So Preston Williams could be that kind of next man up and could even get some more looks his way. So what do you think?
I agree. I think you're spot on with Preston Williams. He was, I think, out-snapped by Isaiah Ford last week, but the offensive coordinator coming out and saying, hey, we want to get Preston Williams more involved. Yeah, I think it could happen in this game. I'm interested to see what they do with Deebo in this game because Brandon Ayuk is starting to look like that Deebo clone pretty much. I think Deebo is they're both talented. I think Deebo's a little bit better, but I'm also a Deebo owner. So I'm interested to see. Someone else I was going to bring up is Mike Gesicki. I'm not playing him in this game. San Francisco is number 2 against tight ends. So if you're a Gesicki owner, look to the waiver wire. There are other options available.
Or look to trade. Ooh.
Or
maybe
that.
we'll talk some tricks of the trade. He is actually not in that segment, or maybe he is. Who knows?
We don't even know.
Maybe you're being tricked. Yeah, we don't even know. All right, Colts at the Browns. Colts passing attack has been pretty brown, but the Browns rank 31st against the receiver. So could this be a big day for either T.Y. Hilton or Zach Pascal? Threw up in my mouth a little bit saying that, but
I know we just talked about last episode. T.Y. Hilton is Kim droppable. He was number one on our list. It could happen, but I don't know. I still think that, yes, Phillip Rivers is throwing the ball around a lot, but Hilton has seen targets and Pascal has seen targets, and we haven't seen either one of them really explode just yet.
He's really not throwing the ball around a lot, though. I think he's averaging like 23 or 24 attempts per game, which really isn't a whole lot. So their main priority is to run the ball right now and
that's
back
what
up behind their good defense.
Yeah, and I think Jonathan Taylor is still a good play this week. The Browns are number 11 against running backs, but I'm still going to play him just because of the volume, and I think he has the ability to break a big one off. In terms of the Browns, I don't really want to play OBJ. Indy's secondary is a little banged up. Rock Ya-Sin came in last week and then came back after another injury. I think Darius Leonard is fighting a groin injury right now. Yikes. So I'm not crazy about OBJ, but I do think Kareem Hunt is like the play in this game just because of the workload.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we'll talk a little bit more about OBJ. I have him later on in this show doc, so we'll get more into that.
Yes.
But next up, we have Giants at the Cowboys. I don't think I don't know. Honestly, the Cowboys, the way they're playing defensively, who knows? This could be a big offensive game for the Giants, We've seen weirder things.
Yeah, I'm still not trusting Daniel Jones that much in this game, but I think Darius Slayton could be an interesting start. In terms of running backs, I don't know. I don't think I want any of them.
Yeah, I don't want any of them either. It's just kind of a toss-up. Which, if you do have some of the bye weeks like you're talking about, Devontae Freeman, not a bad look. Even Dion Lewis in the receiving game, maybe not the worst if you're struggling with injuries and now bye week, because this Cowboys game, they just have no defense. So you could get production anywhere on the field against the Cowboys D. So, I think someone who will have a big day is Evan Ingram, though. The Dallas does not rank well against the tight end, so I think Ingram has a blow-up game. I think last year, first game of the year actually against them, he had in half PPR 23 points. So I'm seeing a big day from him, especially after having 10 targets last week. They're trying to get him the ball. Yeah. It's just not equivalating.
Yeah, with Saquon out, Ingram becomes like the primary check down.
Yeah,
for Daniel Jones.
For sure. But yeah, fire up all your Cowboys.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about them. You're playing them all. I'm even playing Michael Gallup in this game, even after the very slow start to the season. Yeah, still playing him.
It is looking more like Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb show, but Gallup I still think is serviceable. He's going to get you those 20-point games like he did, but then he'll probably come back down to earth. So last week he came back down to earth, so this week play him for sure.
Yeah.
That's how it works. All right, Broncos at Patriots. Stephon Gilmore testing positive, so we'll see if this game goes on. Hopefully they come back with negative tests throughout this week. I think Tim Patrick, he was a waiver wire ad for some people. He's on the Broncos. He's going against the Patriots D, which they actually give up the 26 most points to wide receiver. He's seeing a good bit of work. I know Jerry Jeudy had a big day last week, but really he didn't have that many targets and didn't have the ball go his way that much. It was all really Tim Patrick. So
Patrick had the better day.
Yeah, and we're seeing Drew Lock actually coming back to practice. So I don't know if he's going to play this week necessarily, but if there's a chance, are you excited about Tim Patrick at all?
I think I think with Brett Rippon, I'm more excited about Tim Patrick. He showed really good rapport with him last week, and I don't see Drew Lock coming back, especially against the Patriots. Why would you want to put your franchise quarterback against Bill Belichick in his first game back after injury? Yeah. I don't see Fangio doing that. Philip Lindsay, though, may be coming back. I think Fangio came out and said that Lindsay could have played last Thursday, but without any practice through the week, he didn't want to play him. So I think Lindsay comes back, and I think you see the decrease in Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
However, it's a good Patriots defense, so I think upside is limited for both backs.
What is the Broncos' record right now? Let me see.
What was that?
What's the Broncos' record right now? They're 1-3. Yeah. I don't know. I could see them. You're right. I mean, it's one of those things that they might be like, oh, who knows? If Cam Newton's not playing this weekend, if Stephon Gilmore, he's probably not going to play at all. So Fangio might think, hey, we're 1-3. We have to turn it around quick. Let's get Drew Lock in there because he's got gives us the biggest chance of winning. And against the Patriots, who are banged up offensively and defensively with COVID, who knows? Maybe we've got a chance. So I could see it going both ways.
Yeah, I still see Rippon, but either way, it's the Patriots. So I'm not starting either one. Even with Stephon Gilmore out and some opt-outs from the Patriots, I don't really want to. I'm not comfortable. There's better quarterbacks to play than Rippon or Locke.
Right, for sure. All right, moving on to Sunday Night Football. We have the Vikings at the Seahawks. I'm thinking Russ is about to cook us some gourmet food.
He's the master chef.
He's the master chef, yes.
Yeah, Russ is going to go off again. We have yet to see a defense stop him. Granted, he has played Miami, Atlanta, and Dallas, and who else? There was one more team he played. Oh, the Patriots. And he was cooking up meals, served them left and right each week. So this is no different, I don't think. It's in Seattle. I think if it was in Minnesota, I don't think he'll cook as much food, just because it's Mike Zimmer, and he does know what he's doing on defense. I think just the Vikings are very young. Yeah, I think this is going to be an offensive game for both teams.
Yeah, I think Kirk could have a good game too. Yeah, I agree. I think it's more offensive game to where I think that really all players on both sides of the ball will have good days. So, yeah, I don't think there's a lot to go over really here. Defense-wise, I really wouldn't care to start either defense.
No. One thing I will say is in my league, I have Aaron Rodgers, and so I had to stream somebody. I had 3 waivers for Teddy, another quarterback, and Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins was one of those ads just because it's Seattle's defense. So if you're an Aaron Rodgers owner, and maybe if you have Matt Stafford and don't have another quarterback, then I think Kirk Cousins could be a fine stream.
For sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Lastly, we have Monday Night Football, Chargers at the Saints. Herbert's been playing well. All indications say he will continue to play. I don't know if we've even heard anything about Tyrod Taylor since last week, so I guess it's just assumed Herbert's going to continue playing. Saints D's pretty banged up right now too. So what do we think? What do we think about this game? I think this is going to be a good Monday Night Football game.
Yes. So I've been hinting at this mystery quarterback that I picked up on waivers, and I think the mystery is finally out. It was Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. Yes, Taysom. He's got a good matchup right here with the Saints, who are banged up. They're 26th against quarterbacks so far. And the good thing about Justin Herbert, I think, he's a long-term ad if he's on your waivers. He has a lot of favorable matchups coming up. He's got Atlanta, Miami, and I can't remember a couple other ones, but I know he's got some really good ones, some juicy matchups. But I think this is a matchup where Herbert has a big day. Austin Eckler is out, so the tendency may be, hey, let's let our rookie quarterback sling it.
Yeah, for sure. And we kind of had the opposite last when was it? I don't know, a couple weeks ago, where I think it was week 2, where Herbert was, coming in for an injured Tyrod Taylor. We said, hey, they're probably going to lean more on the run a little bit just to get him acclimated. Now I think it's vice versa, where Eckler is injured. They've seen all this stuff out of Herbert. They literally saw him go like tip for tap. toe to toe, yeah. With I was like, what am I trying to say? With Tom Brady last week, so I think they're going to rely on him this game. I think Joshua Kelly will probably get a bigger split this game, but I don't see a huge day from either him or Justin Jackson. And like you said, Hunter Henry, I think will be a big play. Saints are 31st against the tight end, so I'm excited about that. But yeah,
Agreed.
Awesome. That is all for our game by game. Oh my goodness, reactions and predictions for this week. Joey,
Our Home Alone reactions.
Oh, Joey, take us into Would You Rather start.
Sure thing. Okay. So we have a few Would You Rather starts brought to you by Little Sweet, and we have them categorized into two category.
Categorized category.
You know what? Do you want to just say this one?
We have them categorized into two different categories.
Yes, we have our stinky starts. They are stinky, and a couple of regular, normal, your average starts. So we got to get a little dirty right here. So let's do some stinky starts. Zach, Mark Ingram, or J.K. Dobbins?
I'm actually leaning Mark Ingram. I feel like he has a higher chance of getting a touchdown at this point. So that is literally the only reason I'm leaning Mark Ingram.
Grown-ups, Zach has seen the light. I am also going with Mark Ingram as well. No offense to J.K. Dobbins. He's incredibly talented, but Mark Ingram.
Yes.
Next up, Will Fuller or Brandon Cooks. Another matchup of teammates. Who do you got?
Easy one for me, Will Fuller.
Will Fuller as well. Brandon Cooks got the goose. He's a hold, but yeah, Will Fuller. And lastly of our stinky starts, T.Y. Hilton or A.J. Green.
I'm going T.Y. Hilton. You might have seen both of these players dropped on your waiver.
You might have dropped them, as we told you to.
But yeah, T.Y. Hilton, at least they're going up against a pretty bad passing defense, so you hope he gets some big receptions. That's one of the, I guess, bright spots about T.Y. Hilton. He hasn't been getting many receptions, but he does get the air yards. So, yeah, I'd go T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. as well. But that's going to do it for our stinky starts. Now for the regular ones, Teddy Bridgewater or Deshaun Watson?
I'm going Deshaun. I think there is a chance in some weird universe where this offense looks better than it did, and he could come out shooting lights out.
I could definitely see it, but I'm going to go with Teddy, who is against a terrible defense that I'm a fan of, unfortunately. Next up, Jerick McKinnon versus Josh Kelly.
So this one, at first, I thought Jerick McKinnon if Mostert is out, but now I think even if Mostert is in, I would still go Jerick McKinnon over Josh Kelly.
I think so too. San Francisco likes to run the ball, and I think LA is going to air it out. Next, we got another teammate matchup: Amari Cooper versus CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, I'm going Amari Cooper.
Yep, same here. We'll hear about him later on. You're starting all your Dallas players anyways. Then we have Keenan Allen versus Robert Woods.
Yeah, so this is when we talked about the Rams matchup, and on paper it looks decent because it's Washington, but Washington actually is fairly good against the receiver. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen.
Yeah, as a big Robert Woods fan, I am probably still going to have to play him with my lineup, but I like Keenan Allen better. He's got way better rapport. Well, not way better rapport, excuse me, but he has very good rapport with Justin Herbert. He's getting a monster amount of targets, and it's I think a better matchup. So yeah, Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
And lastly, the duel of the tight ends: Dalton Schultz versus Zach Ertz. The Z
I love how both of them. I was gonna say they both end in the Z. Yes.
And it's your turn, Zach Maziars.
All right, so I'm going Zach Ertz. It's got to go somewhere in that offense. They have to find Zach Ertz because they have no other passing weapons. They're going against the Steelers D, who is beatable through the air. I feel like with the Cowboys, Dalton Schultz, any other given week, give me him. But the Giants are fairly decent against the tight end, and there's so many mouths to feed in that Cowboys offense. On top of that, the Giants offense isn't great. in any means. So I don't think the Cowboys are going to be having to come from behind, do any of this extra stuff. So give me Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I think we saw last week Carson Wentz kind of fire it up and rally the team, but he had a couple of big runs in there too.
Yep. I think Doug Peterson said too that they are going to try and get him utilizing his legs a little bit more, saying how last week he really did win it with his legs, which receiving wise isn't a good sign.
Yeah, interesting enough, he's had a rushing touchdown for like each of the past 4 games, I think.
Yep.
But in this matchup of Schultz and Ertz, I think I'm slightly leaning Ertz a little bit more. I think Schultz still has a lot of upside in this game. Yes, the Giants are sneakily good against tight end, but even if they get a lead, I still think that the Giants could just stack the box against Zeke. They'll have to throw it, and I think Dak could just check down easily to Dalton Schultz. But that's going to do it for our Would You Rather start. Now, let's get into a little tricks of the trade.
Oh, let me do tricks of the trade. I want to
go for it, please.
I love trades. I actually just made a trade this morning and included it on here, so we'll go over it. All right. So first trade, and just to recap this segment, basically we're going to throw out a trade, see which side we like better, and then we're going to give you the Fantasy SP actual number ranking of which side they think is better, based on statistics and analysis and kind of a points assigned to each player, how much each one kind of adds up to. Right. All right, so first trade, Robbie Anderson for Jonathan Taylor. Which side would you take?
This is very close. Robbie Anderson has looked really good this year, but I think quality starting running backs are at a premium, and I think I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is some recency bias. Looking at this, I would say no way in hell would I take Robbie Anderson over Jonathan Taylor.
Watch your language.
Sorry.
Young ears listening.
Grown-up ears.
Those two.
No way in HE double hockey sticks.
There we go.
But, yeah, Jonathan Taylor, by all means necessary. I just think talent-wise, Colts have a better great offensive line. They're wanting to run the ball. Robbie Anderson, yeah, he's doing great this year, but I just don't know how much it's going to last. We've seen spurts and stuff, and this could very well just be a spurt. This might not be like a, huge season-long thing. So, but according to Fantasy SP, the Robbie side actually wins 16 points to 15 points. So, yeah, I don't agree.
Close one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kenny Golladay being traded for Patrick Mahomes and T.Y. Hilton. Which side would you take?
This is tough because you're getting Mahomes. However, you're giving away a wide receiver 1 and a running back 1 for, someone who has potential to finish as the quarterback 1, but you're also getting inconsistent T.Y. Hilton. It depends on, what you have at the running back position, and I'm assuming you probably have another quality wide receiver too. But I wouldn't do it. I'd keep CEH and Kenny G.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is something that people are fearful of, thinking that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is hitting a wall, but he's still getting the usage. He's still doing well. We're going to see a couple of down games from him. But, yeah, I agree. The Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kenny Golladay side by far. Again, Fantasy SP, though, disagrees with us. They side with the Mahomes-Hilton side, 39 points to 38 points. So another very close one, but I disagree with that. But moving on, we have James Robinson and Darren Waller being traded for DeAndre Hopkins and Hunter Henry. Which side would you take?
This is tough.
So this definitely depends on what your team needs. If you are more run needy or wide receiver needy, because both tight ends. Yeah, Darren Waller is definitely a different category than Hunter Henry for sure. But yeah, James Robinson, emerging running back, DeAndre Hopkins, he's a phenomenal wide receiver. So yeah.
I think it depends on team need, but in a vacuum, I think I'd go Hopkins and Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I agree. I also think there is a world and a chance where more teams key in on taking away the short game like the Patriots did for the Raiders. And Darren Waller doesn't have as great of a season, Like, we're not going to see him maybe have the same season he did last year. The way that Justin Herbert's looking, Hunter Henry could actually start to kind of increase that target share, increase that workload. And DeAndre Hopkins, we don't have to, even justify a case there. So Fantasy SB sided with us on that one. DeAndre Hopkins and Henry side won 37-34. Good job, Joey. We did it.
We're smart.
All right, next trade. We have Dak Prescott. This is a big package, right?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, Dalton Schultz, and Jerick McKinnon being traded for Deshaun Watson, Julio Jones, and Hunter Henry.
So this is a lot to unpack in this. Yep. Dak is QB2. It could be QB1, Schultz is a great tight end, great pickup on the waivers, but he's not your top tier guys. And McKinnon is exploding right now, but I think it's because Mostert is out, and I think he'll come back to earth a little bit when Mostert comes back. Deshaun Watson has been kind of hampered by BOB. He's now free. Julio has been hampered by his own body, which happens pretty much every year.
Too bad he can't be free of that.
Yeah, unfortunately. However, he's still, when healthy, an incredible wide receiver. And you've got emerging Hunter Henry, even though he's already
emerged, but emerging for this year.
The second coming of Hunter Henry.
He's in the ocean within a pool.
I think with trades this big, you've kind of got to assess your team. I think I may. It depends on what you got, but I think I may take my shot with Deshaun Watson, Julio, and Hunter Henry.
That a boy, Joey. So that is the side. I'm a little biased on this trade.
This is your trade.
This was my trade that I did this morning in my league. I got the Deshaun Watson, Julio Jones, Hunter Henry side because I was the proud owner of a Mr. T.Y. Hilton. So I really desperately needed a wide receiver because he was my wide receiver 2 next to a Kenny Golladay. So I desperately needed wide receiver help. Julio, once he returns from injury, will provide that. Hunter Henry, I see is a better tight end year long than Dalton Schultz. And then, Deshaun Watson is a downgrade compared to what Dak Prescott is doing right now. But
he still has upside.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And who knows? Like you said, he's been freed of the Bob. So maybe he comes out shooting lights out, doing Dak things the rest of the year. So
maybe.
Unfortunately, though, Joey, Fantasy SB disagreed with us. They sided with Dak's side 55-48. So
clearly we're idiots.
So I need to cancel that trade. All right. And the last trade we have on the docket is James Conner and Jordan Howard for Zach Ertz and Myles Gaskin. Which side you got?
So I think it's weirdly close. Jordan Howard is the vulture in Miami. He's just taking away all of your goal line touchdowns from Myles Gaskin, who's on the other side of this trade. I think Myles Gaskin has shown that he is the RB1 in that offense.
Jordan Howard. Okay, so Jordan Howard, I almost didn't include him in this because he is fluff. He is literally just like a drop. Like, you get him on your team, you drop him. I think the other team just kind of included him in the trade in this because he doesn't belong on a roster. So I only included him on here because for Fantasy SP, they do give some points, and I wanted to make sure the right side won in this. So I didn't, unfortunately, Jordan Howard doesn't have just a 0 point, assignment in Fantasy SP. So.
Yeah, I think in this trade, I'm going James Conner. Even though you're giving up Zach Ertz, I'm going Conner.
Yeah, same here. James Conner, no questions. And the James Conner side actually wins 28-27. But you see how close it was. If I didn't include Jordan Howard, who was like worth 3 points in there, it would have lost, which I don't think it should have lost. So,
or maybe it would have been even higher. Maybe Jordan Howard has negative points.
Oh, wow, you're right. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have not included or kept him, or I don't know.
Either way, some poor sap has him and gets to drop him, though.
And it's not you. Okay. All right, so next we have starts of the week. This is where we give you who we think is going to ball out at each position. I'll go first. Joey, at QB, I have Teddy Bridgewater. Falcons have the worst D against QB this year. That's a given. Running back, I have Jerick McKinnon. This one is more if Mostert is out. I think Jerick McKinnon is going to be a great running back one for you this week. If Mostert's in, he'll probably be a good flex with RB2 upside. Mm-hmm. Wide receiver, this is where I disagree with you, Joey. We talked about the Browns not being able to do much in the receiving game. Indianapolis has the number 9th ranked defense against receivers. I'm actually thinking that OBJ is going to have a good game. I think he makes a statement this game, shows us that he's not just name only and have a couple good weeks. I think he's going to show us that he is that elite talent, and we know he is. The Colts also have the number 4th ranked defense against the running backs, so who knows? Maybe they don't get much on the ground, have to turn to the air, and have to rely on OBJ. And then lastly, at my tight end, I have Hunter Henry. We've talked about him a lot this show. New Orleans has the number 31st ranked defense against tight ends. With Justin Herbert expected to do good things and play lights out, I'm thinking that just equivalates to a good day for Hunter Henry. So, Joey, why don't you give us your starts of the week?
My pleasure. So my starts of the week at quarterback is Justin Herbert. New Orleans is 26th against fantasy quarterbacks. He's poised to have a big day there. With Austin Eckler out, they're probably going to be throwing a little bit more, and I'm playing him. So, yeah, I believe in him. At running back, I've got James Robinson. He's got another great matchup against Houston. He's getting more and more carries. He's looking like the bell cow back there. I think it's a great play. At wide receiver, I'm taking Robbie Anderson. Yes, against my Falcons, but I know they are terrible. The entire starting secondary, I think, is all out, at least for this next game. And Atlanta can't stop anybody. I like Robbie in this game. And at tight end, I'm going with the other alliteration with Evan Ingram. He should have a good day with plenty of targets coming at him. And Dallas, can't do anything on defense either. But those are our starts of the week. We'll be sure to get you James' starts of the week. Look for them on Twitter. They'll be going out before games start. But let's get into our top scorers of the week. I'll start with mine, and that is going back to the Giants-Cowboys game, Amari Cooper. He should obliterate the Giants' secondary. Dak is throwing at record pace, and Cooper is the number one. He's firmly established as the number one. Gallup has taken the back seat, and CeeDee Lamb has taken some of those targets, but I think Amari Cooper has the big day here.
I like it. I like it a lot. My top scorer of the week, and I don't think this is fair because I don't like to do QBs because they already score a good bit of points. Well, no, I'm going to give a caveat. So mine is Russell Wilson. I think he is for sure going to be the top scorer. I'm just calling it right now because QBs usually are, but then on top of that, he is an elite QB. I'm going to say and add the extra caveat that he is going to score over 40 points. So that is my addition to the top scorer. Not only will he be the top scorer, but he will score over 40 points at the least.
So if he does not score 40 points, then Zach
was wrong.
Yeah, he's vehemently wrong.
Yes.
But that is going to do it for this episode of Grown Up Fantasy Football. Thanks for tuning in and listening to the very end. We appreciate that. And we'd also appreciate if you go follow us on Twitter at GrownUpFF. Check us out on Facebook.com/GrownUpFF. We're everywhere you're listening to these podcasts right now, or we're also on the YouTube. If you're watching us right now, you get to see our faces. Hopefully the Skype didn't mess up again. But, please like and subscribe. We still need to get James back, and more subscriptions will help get James back into the show. So,
please, we need him back.
We do. We're struggling without him, clearly. So go like and subscribe, comment below, go grow up, and get guffed.